Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live stream, July the 4th, Independence Day in America. Who have we got here? We've got Uncle Paul is here. Happy 4th to you, sir. Happy 4th from the Playhouse. No independence from the Beatles any time at all. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And who would want that? Who would want that? Hi, John. Hi, nice to have you here. Thanks for joining. Hi. You said you'd be here, and you're here. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. Ray says, afternoon, Tony. Hope you're well. I am, thank you. I'm on annual leave day today, and I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to Rubber Soul and Revolver on repeat whilst enjoying the sun. Ray, you must be in the UK if it's an annual leave day, I guess, and you've gone mid-60s today and enjoying that. Yeah, it's been hot, isn't it? Hasn't it been hot? But don't know how long it'll last. This is a British summer, so who knows how long it's going to last. Charles is here. Hi, Tony. How you doing? I'm doing good. Thanks, Charles. Hope you are too. Neil is here from Aberdeen in Scotland. Hi, Neil. Ralph is here. Hi. Hope you're well in this good day, sunshine. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm good. Boyan, my mate Boyan, my adopted son Boyan from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, Tone, was going to head to bed because I miscalculated the time. Thought it was going to be on in about 6 hours. Glad I checked. Hope you're doing well. Yes, I am. Love the new poster. Thank you. That's the one from my McCartney. Showed it in my McCartney 2 deep dive review. Got it up on the wall this morning. Another one on annual leave. Mike Walljasper's here. Enjoy the Beatles holiday everywhere. Yeah, happy 4th of July. All American viewers that are here today, and even to those that are not. Thanks, Mike. Andy's here. I hang the yes, I did. I did it this morning. I did. You see, there's like a little bit missing in the corner where it must have got stuck to my bedroom wall as I pulled it off when I eventually left home. So got a little bit missing, but there you go. Good to see you, Andy. Hope you're having a good day, mate. Alan. Hi, Tony. Alan here from Cardiff. Not going to see the Oasis gig, so it's all happening in Cardiff tonight, isn't it? Is it Principality Stadium today? The start of the Oasis reunion tour, but you're not going. Did you try and go? Did you try and get tickets, or just didn't bother? Not a fan. Kent is here from Sweden. Hi, Kent. Nice to see you. Boyan says, oh, and yes. This one just here is just hiding behind here. Put that one up today as well. Finally. It's only taken 7 months, but there you go. Yep, Ringo's birthday in 3 days. And if you're in London, my mate Dino V sent me a message today saying that it's going to be an event at Abbey Road on Monday at 12 o'clock noon, where fans are going to be gathering to wish Ringo happy birthday and probably say peace and love and all that sort of stuff. And so if you're in the London area and you fancy that, that's going on Monday, which is Ringo's 85th birthday. Alan says, no, saw them years ago, and that was enough. Dr. Winston O'Boogie is here. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I'm doing good. So as everyone said hello to, and anyone that says that's just popping on. Do tell me where you're dialing in from. I always like to know. Something like that. So, what have we got to talk about today? Well, we can talk about anything you like. You can set the agenda and, ask whatever you like, and I'll try to answer. I guess the big bit of news, Beatles wise at the moment, is the appointment of Tom Green as the new CEO of Apple. That is an interesting one. Bloke used to work in some capacity for the Harry Potter organisation. So I expect the first release under his stewardship will be something like Slytherin songs or something like that. But so that is big news, because it could make a hell of a difference to how things get handled by Apple in the future. I think that they have really slipped by the wayside recently with the recent releases and the way that they've done them. So I hope that he is gonna be like a breath of fresh air to Apple Core and bring us some good things in the future. Right, where are we? Got some more comments. Howard says, hi Tone, joining for the first time from Southwest France after months of viewing. Well, thanks for being part of the channel, and thanks for joining the live stream, getting involved. It's always great to speak live sometimes to the people that watch the channel. So thank you for being part of the channel and being on the live stream. Hope you enjoy it. RMS says, hello, I'm in Cardiff tomorrow and I am going to see Oasis. Okay, well, I hope you have a great time. I used to be quite a big fan. I did think that people would probably talk about Oasis a little bit today because it is the opening show of the tour. And I've just I've dug out all my singles, my CD singles I don't keep with all my other CDs. Because there's too many of them, it takes up too much space, so I'll just keep them here. So I've just dug up all my Oasis singles that I bought at the time when they came out. Whatever, what's that? Don't Look Back in Anger, I think that is. What's that? I think that's Wonderwall. And what's that? Let's Roll With It, I think. And what's this one? Some Might Say, great song. What else have we got? That's You Know What I Mean, which is where I'm starting to drift away from Oasis. Shaker Maker, is that one? Yeah, Supersonic, which I think was the first one. Which one's that? This one's Shaker Maker, isn't it? Shaker Maker, Live Forever. There's loads of them, isn't there? Cigarettes and Alcohol, Stand By Me. All Around the World, and what's this one? Who Feels Love, from the fourth album, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. So yeah, I used to be a fan of Oasis, and on reflection, I think they only really made two really good albums. The first two, the others, diminishing returns. I kind of got out. I think I've got the Hindu Times. I think that is it called the? No, it's not called the Hindu Times, is it? What's it called? Don't Tell the Truth or something like that. That one that the Hindu Times is on anyway. I think that's where I dipped out permanently. Right, where are we? Marcus is here. Hi, Marcus. Thanks for joining. Kent says soon time for Beatles Week in Liverpool in late August, naturally going with my mate Dag. Well, have a fantastic time. I'm not going to be there this year. I'm actually going to be in Austria, in Vienna, when that happens. But I am going to be in Chicago for the fest for Beatles fans, which will be my first time meeting all the guys, part of the Liverpool family, the guys that we all met. We all met up in Liverpool last December when Paul was over and he was playing gigs in Manchester and London. And we're gonna have a blast. I'm not really that interested in, what's going on in the fest as much. Like I'm talking about in terms of guest appearances and stuff like that, because I think it's hard to get people that are relevant. I see that Simon Kirk, who was the drummer in Free and he was the drummer in Bad Company, both bands that I really like, but I'm not really sure what his Beatles connection is. He's a guest speaker there, so I'm really going, to see people and meet people maybe that are part of my channel, part of other people's channels, or whatever. Maybe buy a few bits and pieces and basically have a few days in Chicago, because I've never been there, and have a bit of a holiday. So I'm going to be doing that. If anyone here is going to be at the Chicago Fest, please let me know. And if you see me wandering about, come up and say hello. I will be doing at least one panel at the fest. Hands Across the Water are going to be doing a live panel show there, which should be fun. We've got a great topic which I can't reveal at the moment, but it's a great topic, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. Right now, who else have we got? 50 Thunder is from deepest, darkest Somerset. You weren't at Glastonbury last week, were you? That's in Somerset, isn't it? Welcome. Dr. Whitso Boogie says, do you think the Mono Box will be available to stream? I don't think it will. No, it never has been. It never has been. And I don't think it will be. No, I think that they'll, there's kind of really on the streaming platforms, there's just like one version of each album, and it tends to be either unless there's been a remix. The remixes are on there, and so are I think the 2009 remasters. But the mono albums, I don't think are available to stream on any of the streaming platforms. Rick is here. Hi, Rick. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Boyan says, not new news, but very excited for the new Mono Box to ship in 2 weeks' time. Yeah, of course. Lots of people got the Mono Box when it was a kind of a really weird announcement about a month ago, and I broke the news here, and lots of people got it, which I'm really happy about. So I'm really pleased that everyone, or not everyone, did manage to get one. It was only there really for a few hours, and then maybe the next day it was also there because people had maybe ordered one and maybe changed their mind. I don't know, and it goes back into the pot, and someone else was able to pick one up. But I'm really glad you've got one, Boyan. And that's it ships on the 18th, doesn't it? 18th of July. So that is it's great. I'm still totally puzzled by the way that they did it. By just sending an email to people that were were signed up to the Beatles.com. We got an email with a 24-hour window to buy it, and it was a very weird. And then they were gone. And I'm just wondering whether we have heard the last of the Mono Box, because I just wonder whether that was like a little tester, just to test the market, just to see if the interest was still there. Because when it first came out in 2014, it didn't sell out straight away. It took a little bit of time. And then when it was gone, and then it became, the most valuable item in Beatles folklore, didn't it? People were paying up to £2,000 for a box on the secondary market, and I'm just wondering whether they were testing the water to see whether the interest is still there, and clearly it is. So I wonder whether there might be another issue of that coming soon. We'll have to see. Mark says, bring back physical surround sound Blu-rays. Yeah, well, they've stopped really. They haven't done that. The Beatles haven't done that since Revolver, have they? That's when they stopped. I don't know whether they'll return to it, but John Lennon Camp are still doing Blu-rays in their box set, so they haven't disappeared completely. But from as far as Beatles.com goes, I'm not sure if they'll return to that format. But there seems to be, I don't know. I'm not really that bothered about Atmos mixes and stuff like that. I mean, I've got a 5.1 set up, and if you play, an Atmos mix through that, through my AV amp, it will process it, through my Blu-ray player, it will process it into 5.1. And I think it sounds all right, but it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like a natural way to listen to music to me, to have tambourines coming out from behind you and cowbells and things like that. I like it all to come from the front to where I'm sitting, and I've just gone back in the. I don't know where I've gone now. Oh, there I am. There. Yeah. So I don't know whether they will bring it back, but I can remember when the Revolver box was announced, and we realised that there was going to be no Blu-ray. People were really losing their shit about there not being a Blu-ray, and these were people that were probably around the same age as me, who have been buying records for 50 years without a Blu-ray. And now it was a deal breaker. They're saying, with no Blu-ray, I'm not buying it. And I don't really understand. I don't really understand that mentality, but I do understand that people, do want to hear these mixes, and you can stream the mix, and that's probably why they're thinking not to include it, and maybe keep the price of these box sets down a little bit. Boyne says, with any luck, I'll be able to unbox it alongside Andy, Nick, and Joan, as long as they're willing to wait until November when it arrives in Australia. Yeah, I know from I know from you, and I know from Jason, who and one or two other Australian viewers to this channel, that everything, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if it is understandable. I know you're a long way away. But it does only take a day to get from here to Australia. And so there's not really an excuse, is there? There's not really an excuse. But I think maybe do Australian pressings come from the US, or they go to the US first and then on to Australia? I'm not sure, but yeah, there isn't really an excuse, because it does only take 24 hours to get from here to Australia. But that would be a good unboxing. I would enjoy watching that. Maybe I'll bring mine out as well, even though it's already unboxed, but just so I don't feel left out. Maybe. Nick, hi Nick. The Mono Box is still a mystery, a very strange way to release it. I wonder if more will be available on release day. I don't know about release day, Nick, but I definitely think that there will be more. I think there's more to come. And I as I said earlier, I don't know if you were here when I was just saying it earlier, but I think that maybe the way that they released it, because was really unusual, and they've never done anything like that before. I just wonder if they were, just testing the water. Neil says, was disappointed by the BBC for not showing the last gig ever by the Searchers. This was at Glastonbury, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's so many stages at Glastonbury. They can't show everything. Is it not available on iPlayer? Did they not even film it? I don't know whether it's available on iPlayer. I know they didn't broadcast it, but sometimes they have things on iPlayer that haven't actually been on TV. It might be worth searching for it. See what I did there? Hi, James. Good to see you. How you doing? Hope you are well. You'll be gearing up for ELO, won't you? Soon, is that next week? Next week? I'm not sure when it is. Hi, David. Nice to see you. We used to have Alfred Marks recruitment office in York. Did you? Oh, I didn't think they had much of a presence outside of London. I thought they were a London-based company. I can't remember when they finished. Maybe in the 80s when employment agencies started popping up all over the place. But I didn't know they had one in York. So I guess if they had one in York, they probably had one in other places as well. Leisure Sound Records says evening to you, sir. 50 Thunderous says seen Oasis quite a few times. Nebworth 96 was a great experience. Yeah. I never went to see them live. I did buy, as I say, I bought all the records as they came out, and I was a fan. And I had this DVD, or it might even have been it must have been a DVD. It's the 90s. Might have been a video. Could have been a video called Oasis live at Home by the Sea or something like that, or Live by the Sea, and it was recorded in Southend, which is not that far from where I live. And it was so dull. It was they're not the most interesting of bands live, are they? They just sort of stand around. Liam stands with his hands behind his back like that, or maybe just one hand if he's got the tambourine. And they just stand there, and they do a bit of swearing, and then they bugger off. But I never thought they were that interesting a band live. But I did love the records back in the day. But I never saw them. But I do remember when they played Nebworth. A few of my friends went to that, and what I remember about that is I think they played a couple of tracks off of Be Here Now then, which hadn't been released at that time because it didn't come out till 97, did it? So they played a couple of tracks. I don't know. You know what I mean. And what was the other one? I thought one was track 2 on that album. I can't remember what it's called now. Can't remember what it's called. Not the thing about the liar. I can't remember what it's called, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Next says, Boy and Archer says, doubtful. Yeah, I think that's wait until November, I guess you're talking about. David says, much more of a fan of the Jam and the Smiths than Oasis. I would say, well, much more of a fan of the Jam. I would say I'm more of a fan of Oasis than I am of the Smiths. I don't know. Well, I've got all the Smiths albums, but there's not that many of them, is there? And I've got quite a few Morrissey solo albums as well. But I think probably Oasis is a little bit more joyful than the Smiths. They're so miserable, some of their songs, aren't they? But there you go. Boyne says, Nick, I'll just call you when it arrives and then unbox it. Then Charles says, Tone, you find out about things about McCartney every day. I didn't know Paul had a role in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, he did. Yeah. With I think that's how he got. Isn't that how he got friendly with Johnny Depp? Because Johnny Depp's been in a couple of his videos, hasn't he? My Valentine, notably. But yeah, that did happen. John says heathen chemistry. Thank you, John. Thank you. That's what it was called. Yeah, that was when I kind of dipped out. I think there might have been a couple more after that. I think that I didn't get. We've had that one, haven't we? We've had that. My heart goes out to Liverpool Football Club. What? I was. Yeah, absolutely. It is so sad. It is so sad. I don't know whether people outside the UK are aware of this, but it's it's a big story in England at the moment. So yesterday, Premier League footballer Diogo Jota was killed in a car crash with his brother, who is also a footballer. I think he plays in Spain. And they were on holiday. He only got married last week. He's 28 years old. 28 years old, and absolutely tragic. That just really shocked me. Because you get these things that pop up, on the BBC. This person's died or that person died, and usually they're, an old person. It doesn't, not often that it shocks you, but that really did shake me to my boots. It's very sad, very sad. John Kay. Is this John? Is this John from? Yes, it is. It is John from Connecticut. Hi, John. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks always for your great shows. You're welcome. Stay well from John. Beatley 6 in the CT colony in Connecticut. Hope you're having a good 4th of July, John, and welcome to the live stream. And thank you for your support. Mike says, may I please get your autograph? You don't want my autograph. You can if you want. I'm not really famous, but you can. But do come and say hello. Of course, Mike. That would be great. I didn't realise you were going, so that's great that you'll be there. So I'll see you there. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Will you go to Madness Squeeze shows in the UK? I hope that tour comes to the US. No, I probably won't. I have literally lost count of how many times that I've seen Squeeze live. I think I've probably seen it's work. I think it might be a toss up between them and Paul Weller, who I've seen the most times live. I think it's probably somewhere around the 30 mark. I think I've seen Squeeze, and I have seen Madness as well. But they will be great shows. I'm guessing that Squeeze are supporting Madness in those shows rather than the other way round. I think Madness probably have had more hits. But yeah, that will be a great show. Yeah, I hope it does go to the US. I'm not sure how big either of those bands are in the UK, but they were very big in their day here. And I've seen them so many times. I've seen Squeeze so many times, and I've seen Glenn Tilbrook solo quite a number of times as well. And he when he goes out with his band, he normally plays Squeeze songs as well as stuff from his solo career. It's quite nice though when you go and see them, because generally they haven't got a new album out, so they're not really promoting anything. So they're just doing all the old stuff. So it's it's a great show where every song and everyone has a great time. No, it didn't go anywhere near Glastonbury. I managed to avoid it. I went in 97 and 98, and that would do. I can't remember who was headlining in those years, but I thought this was the worst Glastonbury lineup I can ever remember. I thought it was shocking. There was not really anyone that I was that interested in. I did watch a little bit of Rod Stewart's set, and I did like I loved actually when they did "Stay With Me" together. That's just such a great song. But yeah, I wasn't inspired by the Glastonbury lineup to spend any time at the TV last weekend. Yes, it all went off a little bit, didn't it, at Glastonbury last week? Charles says, Tone, I see you managed to get you. Yes, it's up. There it is there, with a little bit of the corner missing that, if I didn't know better, I would say is probably still stuck to my bedroom wall at my mum and dad's house. But that's the best salvage job that I could do. But yeah, there's no point in it being stuck in my McCartney 2, my copy of McCartney 2 copy, where it's been for many years. For many years, no point really it being stuck in there, because I won't unravel it if I play that. I mean, the reason why I kind of rediscovered it is because I don't generally play that copy of McCartney 2. I usually play one of the newer ones that are, a cleaner copy, like the archive, or maybe the clear vinyl one, or maybe on CD, the box set or something like that. And I always like, when I do those deep dive reviews, I always like to get out the original album, and it just takes me right back to when I've heard these records for the first time, where I'm sitting on my bed and listening to them, reading the lyrics and all that sort of stuff. And it takes you right back. So I do like to, when I do these deep dive reviews, I kind of like to put myself back in the moment when I'm kind of coming up with what I'm gonna say in the video. And and I looked inside the sleeve, and there it was, and I thought, well, that doesn't need to be in there anymore. That needs to be on my wall. And I'm very aware that I haven't really changed since I was 17 or 18. I was putting posters on my bedroom wall then, and I'm still putting posters on my wall now, although this isn't my bedroom. John says, shout out hoping for more US Capitol album releases on CD and vinyl. I don't know if there'll be another CD release. Does there need to be a CD release? I'm not sure, because that's already been out, hasn't it? I think early noughties there was the Capitol years, wasn't there? And then there was another one, the US albums, a bit later, maybe 10 years later or something like that. But vinyl, maybe they will continue with the rest of the the albums that they haven't done after Beatles 65, Beatles 6 yesterday and today, and US Rubber Soul and Revolver and Hey Jude and stuff like that. I would like to see those released. Right, where are we? Rick, hi Rick. Beatles Mono Box. Sorry. Springsteen lost album vinyl, both limited and sold out quickly. Is this a new trend? Well, it could be. It could be, because these things are, they're expensive to produce, and they've got to get their numbers right. The record companies, they've got to get their numbers right. Because they don't want to be left with lots of copies on the shelf, do they? And so just because it's sold out doesn't mean they won't press more. But I'm not really into Bruce, and so I'm aware of the Tracks 2 box set, the 7 lost albums, but I'm not sure whether that was it a limited release. I don't know whether it was a limited number, or they just sold loads of them. Just immediately. Thanks, Andy. Right, okay. Leisure Sound Record says, any news on the when the Lennon concert LP is coming out? Yes, sort of. I think that it is going to be in October. I think it's going to be in October. The 1-to-1 box. I think it's going to be coming out for John's birthday. So around October the 9th, it will come out. It will probably be a Friday. So whatever the nearest Friday is to John's birthday, I think that is when it will probably come out. So I would expect an announcement of that maybe the last week in August, maybe the first week in September, I would say. Ken says, counting the days until the mono box arrived. Yeah, I'm glad I remember you got one, Ken. Yeah, it's 18th it gets sent out, doesn't it? James is here. Hi, James. Nice to see you. Great show with Andy. Yeah, oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I love doing stuff with Andy, and it was really good fun. It was really good fun. So it was a real last minute thing. You know, he watched my video and he messaged me and said, "I've got to do a rebuttal video with you. I don't agree with some of your rankings and stuff like that, or your ratings, scoring." And we just fixed up the time same day and just did it about 11 o'clock my time last night, and it was lots of fun. And I watched it back this morning. It turned out great. So it's very good, very good. So glad you enjoyed it. Rick says Rolling Stone Mono Box vinyl is still available. Yeah, probably. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You know, maybe not such a huge demand for that as there is for Beatles or for Bruce Springsteen. I don't know. I mean, Rolling Stone's not short of fans, are they? But yeah, so they obviously printed out more than they needed, basically more than they needed. James says, got my plane ticket and reservation for Chicago. See you there, James. I'll see you there. David says, Kinks Mono Box is a must-buy too. Okay. I've got some 60s Kinks albums, but I think I've got stereo versions, I think. I'm not sure. Marcus says, my dream is a remastered stereo box set of the albums without the hard pan or digital on vinyl, a proper treatment. Well, I don't think you're going to get them remastered. You probably, because they've already been remastered, you might get them remixed because it's the remixing that is going to cure the panning, not the remastering, because we've got to get that. We've got to get away from that music on one side and singing on the other. We have to get away from that. And, you know, so far, you know, I thought he did a really, really good job with Revolver, because Revolver was one of those that was particularly irksome with that panning. So, yeah, so it's going to be a remixing that is going to get rid of the panning. Whether it will be analog, I doubt it. Because the problem is that the tapes are so old. They are frightened. They're frightened of damaging the tapes by pressing lots of copies. So they run it through once and take a digital copy and then press from that. And I think that is the best we're going to get. I mean, it still comes from the multi-track type, the original multi-track tapes, and that's the main thing. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get any of the stereo albums in analog now. Hey Tone, just looking at your guitar in the background, are you left-handed? Me too. I honestly, I am the world's worst guitarist. I'm a drummer. I'm not a guitarist, but I just have a guitar just to piddle about on, basically. And I play it left-handed, but I am actually right-handed. But I play it left-handed. And I'll tell you why. Because the first time that I ever picked up a guitar, right, it made when I really knew nothing about playing the guitar, but it made absolute sense to me that the difficult part about playing the guitar was making the chord shapes. And so therefore I assumed that for doing the most difficult part, you want your best hand. And for me, that was my right hand. So I made the chord shapes with my right hand, strum, which is the easy bit, with my left hand, and didn't realize that was completely wrong. So basically, when I learned to play guitar, I learned all the chords upside down, right? So eventually, I used to do some jamming with some friends, and I did play a bit of acoustic guitar in that, and they said you can't keep playing it upside down. You've got to get a left-handed guitar. So that's what I did. I got a left-handed guitar, and then had to learn all the chord shapes again. And now I can't really remember how I, I mean, obviously I could work it out, but I can't really remember how to play them upside down. Now, because it now seems natural to be playing them left-handed, but it's it's weird. I mean, that whole shenanigan probably only happened in about maybe 2004 or something like that. And the first guitar that I had, which was a right-handed guitar, I had since I was 21. So it was a long time playing it upside down. So there you go. It's always a story, isn't there? James says, I buy the odd Blu-ray high-res discs, but I agree music in 5.1 is a novelty. I have the setup, but it's more for movies. Yeah, exactly. It's brilliant. It's brilliant for TV, but not so great. I just don't enjoy listening to those mixes as much as I do in stereo. And that's just personal choice. I know lots of others would disagree. Hello, Martin. How you doing? Nice to see you. Mark says, I'm hoping for a 1-to-1 box set from Lennon Camp. We are getting an anthology remastered box set. Are we getting? Well, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure we are getting the anthology in one way or another. Whether this will be just a remastering of the TV show to be streamed, or possibly I doubt there'll be a physical release, but probably for streaming, it'll either be that with, and it could be with extra material. I don't know. I don't know. But if things are streamed, generally when things are streamed, if there's any bonus material that might be on a physical release, it doesn't usually go to streaming, does it? So if you go and watch a film on a streaming platform, you just get the film. Whereas if you buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, you'll get the film, and there'll probably be a second disc with bonus features and stuff like that. Where you don't ever see those streams. So I don't think that if there is going to be any bonus material, I don't think it will be streamed. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And there could be a remixed box set or remixed anthology albums released to accompany that. It's 30 years since Anthology happened, so that it's an anniversary. But obviously, we also know it's also 60 years since Rubber Soul in December, and it's 60 years since Help in April. Was it April or May 65? Can't remember. So we're not sure where they're going because it doesn't seem like they're sticking with anniversaries anymore. They didn't when they put out Revolver anyway. So it's really difficult to predict. But I think that the word on the street is that they're doing something for Anthology ahead of Rubber Soul, but you just never know. You just got to keep hope. With a new CEO, Tom Green is his name. With a new CEO in charge, the whole strategy could be changed. So we don't know. So we might end up getting a lot more than we, have with, just one release a year and that sort of thing. The 1-to-1 box set is a nailed on definite. That is definitely happening in October. Neil says they did not film it. Fan footage. This is the searchers only on YouTube. Okay. James says I'm gearing up for Stevie Wonder on the 12th, and what a fantastic double. You're not doing the treble with Neil Young then? He's playing one of those days as well, isn't he? I think. And so I saw Stevie Wonder in Hyde Park Oh, now when was it? It was a few years ago where he did the whole of Songs in the Key of Life, and then he did a load of extra stuff as well that wasn't on that album, but he did that album from start to finish. Bloody fantastic. It was fantastic. So have a great time at those 2 gigs, James. Oasis at Nebula 96. The Bootleg Beatles kick-started the weekend. I mainly went for the Manic Street Preachers. Okay, that was I used to like them as well. Design for Life's fantastic album, and the one after that as well. This Is My Truth. Tell Me Yours is called. Yeah, that's a good one. And the Holy Bible was a great album too. James says, I'm like you, Tony. I jumped off Oasis ship after Don't Believe the Truth. Yeah, I think that was the time. That was the time to get off. Tom is here from New Jersey. Hi, Tom. Happy 4th of July to you. Charles says, the Searchers Glastonbury concert on YouTube, tracks separately shown. Thanks for that information, Charles. Ollie's here. Hi, Ollie. Nice to see you. Give me Manic Street Preachers, Soupy Furry, Animals. This is a Welsh thing that you're going on here. And Supergrass. They're not from Wales. They're from Oxford. Over Oasis, insofar as 90s groups are concerned. Yeah, I've seen Supergrass, and I'll raise you Super Furry, or I'll see your Super Furry Animals and raise you Ocean Colour Scene. Oh, fantastic band. Seen them lots of times. Great Britpop band. Really like them. Right, where are we? Heading to bed, Tone. Oh, I've missed you. It's 3:28. Oh, that's ages ago. That was like, is it ages ago? It's 10 to 7 now. I'm sorry I missed you. Got to be up for work. Watch the rest of them get. Okay. See you, Boyan. Hello, Tone. I just watched the piece you did with Andy about McCartney too. Always enjoyable. Hoping to hear something about McCartney's new album soon. Yeah, I hope so too, Ronald. Yeah, I hope so. It seems to be forever since we first got wind of it. It does seem to have been forever, and we're still waiting. Let's hope it's soon. Kent says, if you want to have a Beatles solo event, the best time is in Liverpool in August. Great bands from around the world. Yeah, I have been. I haven't been for ages, actually. I haven't been for ages. I must go. Next year, maybe. I'll go next year. But yeah, it is a great time. Is it still a whole week? It used to be called Beatles Week over that August bank holiday weekend, and the days following it. It's always used to be good. Used to get great sellers there as well. Lots of great stalls and tribute bands and speakers and stuff. Really good. David agrees about the Manics. Boyan said, "Oh, well, I should just show off before I go. I do have a Beatley autograph." You do. James says, I've been a Liverpool fan for 52 years and Jota's death really hit me. My nephew was killed 5 years ago at 15, so Jota's death hit a nerve. Yeah, understandable. My brother lives in Portugal too, so it's raw there. Yeah, it's such a tragedy. It really did shake me up when I read that. Couldn't believe it. Bob's here. Hi, Bob. I was going to send you an email. I just forgot. I was going to do it last night, and I got distracted. I'm going to blame Andy Nichols for that. He distracted me. Right. Okay. Bob says, hi, Tony. Just getting ready to go out to see our favourite local Bay Area Beatles cover band, the Sun. Yes. No, I know about the Sun Kings. I know about you getting up and singing with them. I've seen the video. I've seen the video evidence. They always perform every 4th of July to celebrate the British invasion. Well, look, I hope you and Erin have a great night. And yeah, have a good time. And I will speak to you soon. Right. The tragic story of the Liverpool footballer was on ABC News here in the States last night and in the newspapers yesterday. Yeah. Glastonbury is just an excuse for 900 BBC staff to have a jolly once a year. Yeah. If they serve up the crap they've served up this year, they needn't bother. John says, love John McCartney 2 Deep Dive. It's still one of my favourite McCartney albums. Thanks very much, John. I'm glad you enjoyed it. David said, I have a similar McCartney 2 poster, but it's Woolworths poster advertising the album. That's cool. Royce Hurt says, hi, Royce. Tim is here. Greetings, Tone. I have a suggestion for a video topic. Would you ever consider doing a video comparing the difference between the Beatles 8 tracks and the vinyl versions of their albums? The 8 track. You mean the 8 track cartridge? Well, the problem that I have with that is I have never owned. I've never owned an 8 track. So either album or machine. I mean, here, what I remember the 8 track machines just used to be in cars. I don't ever remember being one as part of a hi-fi setup. They were kind of in cars before, like, cassettes in cars became the norm, is what I remember. My mum's hairdresser had one in his car, and I'd never seen one before. And I just assumed that all hairdressers would have an 8 track player in the car because of that when I was a kid. But I don't think that's a video I could do because I don't have 8 tracks to do that comparison. Sorry. We need Capitol Albums Volume 3. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because the Capitol Albums didn't finish the series, did they? But the US albums did finish the series, but they used the wrong mixes. That's right, isn't it? They used the 2009 remastered mixes, right? That's what happened, yes. Hi, Royce. You're from Mississippi. Any news if we might be getting a reboot of the anthology this fall? Well, firstly, happy 4th of July to you. Right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just need to remove someone. Right. Do you think there will ever? Sorry, I missed your comment, Royce. Go back. You said, do I think there'll ever be a Yeah, I do. As I said earlier, I don't know whether it's just going to be just the TV shows like, cleaned up and, Peter Jacksoned up, and that'll be available for streaming or possibly a physical release, or whether they will go the whole hog and do, a remixing of the album. Certainly, they should be doing a remix of Real Love and Free as a Bird, and the fact that they weren't included on the remixing of the Blue album a couple of years ago does kind of point to the fact that they have got other plans for those 2 tracks, and that it might be a reboot of the anthology. That is where that's going. Tom says, hi, Tone, do you think they will ever release the official Shea Stadium set or box? Yes, I do. I think they will. I was saying the other day, wouldn't it be great? What? My perfect scenario would be that they would release a 1965 box because it's been 60 years. And they could put in it the remixed Help, remixed Rubber Soul, and remixed Shea Stadium. What a box set that would be. You couple that with the mono of the Help and Rubber Soul album, that'd be fantastic. That what more could you ask for? I don't know why. Because with the new technology, with the MAU technology that Apple have got at their disposal now, they could, put all the screaming on one. Excuse me. Put all the screaming on one track, and you don't want to get rid of it completely because it's part of the atmosphere of the concert, but you could turn it right down. You turn it right down so you can hear the band. And we've seen the film of Shea Stadium, so we know that Shea Stadium is a good performance by the band. So there's nothing to hide really. Some of the performances don't sound very good at all. I saw that there's a bootleg come out recently of the Essen concert from 1966, Essen in East Germany, as it was then, and it sounds terrible. It's supposed to be a soundboard recording, but I think the only thing they've got going through the soundboard is the mics, and all the guitars are just being picked up as bleeding into the microphones that they're standing by. You can't hear any drums on it at all. It sounds dreadful. But Shea Stadium, different ball game. I'd love to see it. John, would love for you to do a deep dive on George's 33 and a third. Well, you don't even have to wait for me to do that. I've already done one. It's on the channel. You'll find it if you search through my videos. You'll find for 33 and a third. You'll find it, and it's not even that far back. It was only maybe about 2 months ago that I did it. So I've granted your wish here live on the live stream. Nick says, I'm not a huge Springsteen fan, but there are 2 or 3 of those 7 lost albums that are absolutely fantastic. I'm seriously thinking of getting the box. Okay. Have you been streaming them then, Nick? I guess. Marcus says, thanks, Tone. You're welcome. Hi, Neil. Neil's in Stirling in Scotland. Glastonbury highlight, the Searchers' final concert not shown on BBC, but video clips on YouTube. Yes. Someone said that I think it was Charles Duncan. If you search back through the comments here, I think he said that the whole concert is on YouTube somewhere. Their whole set. Leisure Sound Records says thank you. I'm not sure what for, but Eric says beat the tone. Hi Eric. This is one of the few times I've been able to see all 4 Beatle portraits behind you. Normally your shoulder covers the John picture. Yeah, I'm sitting at a slightly different angle. The reason being that if I was to sit in my normal angle, which is like square on to my computer, so I had to twist my computer around, is that you would see the disgusting mess that is over it in that corner. Well, it's not really a disgusting mess, but it just looks messy because I've had to unload my drum kit from my car because I had to take it in for a service this week, and I haven't put it back, so it's taking up a lot of floor space and doesn't look that great. Andy says, agree, Tone. 5.1 for music is overrated. If you've got decent hi-fi with good speakers, that's all you need. Absolutely. I agree. I hope that Anthology documentary in particular gets upgraded. Yeah, it would be great. I keep thinking, I must watch it again. But I'm thinking if it's gonna come out, I don't want to watch it all now and then in a few months it comes out again and then I'll have to watch it again. So I'm kind of holding back. If nothing happens in November, because that's normally the time that they drop something. It normally happens in November. It ties in exactly right with the release date of the beginning of the anthology series. So November is the favourite for that. If it doesn't happen in November, then I'll just go and watch my DVDs of it again, because it's ages since I've watched it, and I want to refresh my memory. John says you could do a whole show on the Beatles illustrated record book by Carr and Tyler. It was my second Beatles book in the 70s. I first learned of the British album since I grew up with the Capsules. Yeah, it was not the one that you see behind you. That is a later issue. I had the first issue, which I think came out in 1975 or 6, because I think it only went up to John Lennon's rock and roll album. It had the Beatles in Sgt. Pepper suits on the front. That was my Bible. When I first got into the Beatles, that was my Bible, because I just got into the Beatles, and I did exactly the same. I discovered all the albums, all the solo albums, and read all the reviews that they did. Not that I ended up agreeing with very much that they said. Once I got to hear the solo records in particular, they're particularly harsh about the solo records, and they're much kinder to the early Beatles albums than they are to the later Beatles albums, which I would totally disagree with. But I read that cover to cover so many times, to the point that the pages fell out, and I ended up putting, that in it they had like the full sort of 12-page, picture of the sleeves, the album sleeves. I ended up putting those on my wall and cutting out bits of it, and then it had gone. And then I bought that copy off eBay, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, for about 12 quid or something like that. I can't remember. Right. Okay. Eric says, if there has to be a new anthology, I hope they will add an anthology 4 with more early takes and studio banter as they talk their way through the process of changing things in a song. Well, this is the thing. So this is my take on that. I think that they won't. I don't think there will be an anthology 4. And I'll tell you the reason why I don't think that, because I think all of these outtakes, they are going to be saving for the box sets that they've yet to do. So if they have an anthology 4 and put everything on, then they've got nowhere to go with the box sets. I mean, that means they could make them smaller and maybe just have, put out the remixed album and the mono album and a book. But they like to put out the sessions, and if they use all their best outtakes, well, personally, I think they've already used their best outtakes on Anthology 1, 2, and 3. But there are other things in the can that they didn't use, and I think they'll be saving those for the box sets rather than putting them all on Anthology 4. That's my thoughts on that. We'll have to wait and see. Rick says, video physical release may be done. Still waiting for Let It Be due to streaming. Yeah, Let It Be still hasn't come. I'm surprised. Have you seen Mayo's retirement videos? Had you considered doing something similar? No. Sorry. Yes. I have seen a couple of Joe's videos. That, and I did see that he'd created a new channel, and I wished him good luck and all that sort of thing. And I am actually doing the same diet as he's doing, keto, which is horrible. Which is horrible, as it means you can't eat any carbs, and carbs are delicious. So no rice, no pasta, no potatoes, no bread. Just all the best things. But you end up eating a lot of meat and vegetables and stuff like that, and doing a kind of an intermittent fasting. So stop eating at 9 p.m. and don't start eating again until about 1 p.m. So no breakfast and anything. And it's working quite well for me, as it is for Joe. So I'm quite interested in how he's getting on with that. But no, I haven't considered doing something similar. Because I don't know, I just this channel takes up a lot of my time, and I'm doing Hands Across the Water as well. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. The podcast that I do with my good friends Andy Nicol and Carl Hand. So I've got that to do. I've got this to do, and I've got to, I can't be spending my whole life on YouTube. I can't. And so no, I haven't thought about doing that. And I'm not sure if I want to, if I want to overshare in that way and talk about everything I'm doing in my retirement. I think it's great that Joe can be very candid and very happy to do that, and I wish him best of luck with his with the channel. But I probably won't do that. I'm probably going to stick to music, and I don't even do much. Many videos about other music that I like. What I mean by other music is non-Beatles, because I've kind of pinned my flag to the mast by calling it a Beatles channel. So I think that when I do videos about other music that I like, they don't do as well. But I would certainly do. If I was ever to do another channel, it would be more. The most likely scenario that I would do, it would be about other bands that I like, rather than talking about my retirement. I'm not sure if anyone wants to know anyway. But there you go. Joe says my grandparents had an 8-track at home as a main hi-fi unit. Okay. See, I've never seen an 8-track attached to hi-fi. So did they have like attached to an amp, or did it have an amplifier built in? I don't know how they work. Occasionally would cut a song in half. Yes, no, yeah, I heard that with those eight tracks, it would just like stop abruptly when it got to the end of the tape, and then turn itself over and then carry on with the song. So you'd have like a few seconds gap in between. Weird, isn't it? No wonder they didn't last. Hello, Uncle. I think we've already said. Well, I think we've already said hello to you, Uncle Paul. I think, have we? But hi again. Thank you for being here, my friend. John says, I'm really hoping for a remix box of Rubber Soul and Help for their 60th anniversary. Yeah, as I said, John, that would be the ideal scenario. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. But let's hope so. Jim's here. Hi, Tone. Hi, Jim. Love the idea of the 65 box. Would be terrific. Pricey, but terrific. Yeah. But, I just want them to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Even if we were to get one of those albums, everyone would be pleased. But it's just taking them so long to roll this stuff out, and none of us are getting any younger. And Help, Rubber Soul remixed, Mono Help, Mono Rubber Soul for those that didn't get the Mono box set, and Shea Stadium and a book. Absolutely perfect. Wouldn't ask for anything else. That would absolutely do me. Right. Okay. Charles says, a chap on YouTube called Silly Paul will give you the Searchers songs separately. There you go. Anyone who wants to watch the Searchers set at Glastonbury, Silly Paul is the man to go to see. Thank you, Charles, for giving that info. Eric says, you described the hypothetical box set about 65. Yes, it was great to have all the Shea Stadium concert footage, plus any related footage of them. They're on Sullivan's show the night before. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to know where you would draw the line. And I've just said what I thought would be perfect, but then that doesn't include any outtakes from either Rubber Soul or Help. So we'd want those as well, wouldn't we? It's it's difficult. It's difficult. There's got to be a line drawn somewhere where you keep. They don't usually Although they did with the Sergeant Pepper box. I was going to say they don't usually include video in these deluxe box sets, but they did. They did with Sergeant Pepper. I think that's the only one that they include video with. So yeah, it would be a departure from where they're going at the moment, but you never know. That the possibilities are endless. Why stick at Shea Stadium? There's Hollywood Bowl. There's that whole August 1965 tour. Lots of gigs to pick from. Greg Rapper says, thank you for doing this. If London Town and Back to the Egg comes out like a set like Wings 78, 79, what do you think the bonus disc would be? I heard either Campuchia or Cold Cuts. So I don't think it'll be Cold Cuts. If it comes out like the Big Barn box, which had had Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway in it, and it also had Wings Over Europe. So that I think that if we get London Town and Back to the Egg, if they ever come, I think they will be available separately, and I think they will be in a box like the Big Barn box. And I think that the bonus material will be something live. So it'll either be the Glasgow Apollo gig from the 1979 tour or Concert for Campuchia. It could be either, because both were recorded and both. I'm not sure if Glasgow was filmed. I'm not sure if it was filmed professionally. Might have been. But yeah, I mean, honestly, there is so much potential. For a Back to the Egg box, because they worked on loads of songs that weren't included on Back to the Egg. London Town, not so much, but Back to the Egg, the potential for that box could be phenomenal. But where is it? Why is it taking so long? We just don't know. John says, yeah, Carr and Tyler were really tough on the solo albums, especially George and Paul. I also disagreed with their assessments. Yeah, it was nonsense, but it was a good book to kind of learn, what songs were on what albums and what the albums were at the time. When I got into them in 1976, there weren't that many solo albums. It's a different story now. Eric says, I see what you mean about saving outtakes for box sets. Is probably what they'll do. Yeah, I think so. Rick says, got to go. Have a great day, evening. You too, mate. Thank you for being here. John's here. Hi. Beatley Tone. When the Beatles played, I feel fine live in concert. Why didn't they use feedback at the beginning and turn up the bass and drums? It sounded weak live. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. It's pretty easy to get feedback when you play live. It's usually accidental, but I don't know why. I'm not sure if it mattered that much, but they were never really that loud. They played with small amps in big arenas and big stadiums, and the vocals. If they played in say a baseball stadium or something like that, their vocals would not come through, like a hi-fi PA like it does now. It would come through the PA of the baseball stadium, where the bloke would read out, the team and tell you where to get your hot dogs and all that sort of stuff. So it was, it wasn't good sound. It wasn't good sound through the PA, and I'm not even sure whether the amps were mic'd up or whether I think maybe sometimes they were. Sometimes you see like a microphone dangling over an amp speaker, and that microphone goes back to the desk, the sound desk. I don't even know if the Beatles did that all the time. But there you go. I don't know the answer. I'm afraid, John. Next year will mark the 60th anniversary of the end of Beatles touring at Candlestick Park. A release of live material to mark the anniversary would be good. Yeah, I think if they've got good stuff, it would be historically a good idea to release something. Whether they will or not, I don't know. It all depends. We've got to all put our faith in the new CEO, Tom Green, and see where he goes. With this. Any idea for single vinyl albums? The Beatles usually had a companion single to albums from the same sessions. Rubber Soul, Day Tripper, etc. It would be nice to include these singles with the LPs. Yeah. Well, they've done that. They have done that almost all the way through. Say almost all the way through. They did it with Let It Be, and they did it with Revolver, didn't they? They included Paperback Writer and Rain, mono and stereo as an EP with the box set, and with Let It Be they did some different. They remixed the single version of Let It Be, and they had a 1970 mix of I Mean Mine, I think it was. I can't remember. And Don't Let Me Down, I think, was on it as well. Anyway, yeah. So that it would make sense. It would make sense. You could have, you could state the case that for the Rubber Soul box, they could put Day Tripper. We can work it out. Single, stereo, mono, almost nailed on. To be included with the Rubber Soul box set when it eventually happens. Steve, hi Stephen. My first stereo, I bought an 8-track recorder. I could even tape albums and concerts off the radio. Okay. Yeah, as I say, I don't really know that much about them. Mrs. Beatley Tone is here. Hi BT. Sorry not to be able to watch. We'll catch up later. Yes, okay. See you later. Eric says, I can imagine a Capital Yesterday and Today reissue with the cover printed on plastic that you could peel off to reveal the butcher. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be quite cool. Dr. Winston O'Boogie says, Tone, just been told that the Mono Box is going to be available to stream this time around. Who's told you that? Who would know that information? Have you got connections with Spotify? It would be really odd because it's been available for 11 years and it's never been streamed. Technically it's been available since 2009, hasn't it? Because that's when the CD mono masters. Maybe Tom Green is having an impact already, if that is the case. But I'd be surprised. But you never know. Why haven't they done it since 2009? That's the question. Alan Perkins says, hey Tony, been lurking in the background while cooking the tea. Got to go now, but loved every minute of the chat. Thank you, Alan. Cheers. Thanks for being here, mate. Have a good evening. John says, Beatley Tone, new man in charge of Apple, Tim Green. What is up his sleeve in the coming years? No, I've no idea. I mean, it was only announced a few days ago, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Where he goes, whether it's a completely different direction. But let's hope that they get a wriggle on with getting these releases out. Eric says, I meant for individual releases, not box sets only. Oh, for the single to be included with the album. Oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, they've not really done that generally before, so I'm not sure if they would start doing that again. Okay. Any idea how much Beatles autographs are selling for these days? No idea at all. No, I don't know. I don't collect them. I do know that if you've got all four of them on the same piece of paper, they're worth much more than if you've just got four separate, autographs. If you've got one on a book or something, and one on a bit of paper or whatever. Yeah, but I've no idea what the value is because I'm kind of not into. I'm not into. Autographs or memorabilia in general. I don't collect Beatle dolls or stuff like that, and pencil cases and all that sort of stuff. Right, I think that we have come to the end. I think we've done all. We've done all the comments. Yeah, I think we've done all the comments. So I think that I don't want to hang around like a bad smell. There's more comments coming. There's more comments. Okay, let's do these. Dr. Winslow Boogie says 2009 was a different time for streaming. Most issues though these days get a streaming release. I am hoping my info is coming up with the goods he usually does. Okay, great. That'll be good. That'll be good if it's streaming. You know, it's an odd concept, isn't it? Mono records digitally. It's kind of an odd an odd concept, because the mono records have to be heard really in analog, and obviously if it's streaming, then they're going to be digital. But if they put them on the platforms, then great, then people will hear them. But what you're going to hear are the 2009 mono remasters, isn't it? I think. Right. I have just that, but not looking. Okay. Do you know how you're talking about autographs, aren't you? Do you know how much it's worth? That was the original question. Oh, it was your question. Oh, okay. So you've got them all. You got all four on one piece of paper. Do you think we'll ever get a reissue of collection of oldies but goldies? It's 60th anniversary next year. No, I don't think so. I think that was deleted from the catalogue in the 80s at some point. I mean, they didn't put it out on CD, did they, when they did the 1987 CD releases? All the tracks have been out on CD in one way or the other, mostly on the Red album and obviously the Past Masters album for Bad Boy. But yeah. So no, I can't see that happening. Dino's here. Dino Fee just joined for a bad smell. Welcome, Dino, for keeping me in my chair, and good to see you. Are you heading down to Abbey Road then on Monday to Peace and Love? I'm just going to take a drink. Hang on. There was an interesting segment on Porn Stars where someone had the first Led Zeppelin album autographed by all four. Jimmy Page signed it the front while the other signed it in the back. Okay, I bet that's worth a bit. Huh. Tony, if Apple expands the Anthology set, do you think Paul will get kind of like finally released? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I don't know, because it was George that vetoed it last time, and all things that get released have to be approved by all four camps, including the two estates. So, I would imagine that Olivia would veto it on George's behalf. I don't know. But it's like 14 minutes of noises. Do we really want? That is definitely a hear once and never bother to listen to it again, I think. Right. Okay. John says, I'm now a big fan of yours. Thank you. How do I get a Beatley Tone autograph? Cheers to you and Mrs. Beatley Tone. Well, you could come to the Chicago Fest for Beatles fans if you want. I'm going to be there, and you can get one there. I guess, John. Charles says you do flatter me, though, John. John. Charles says, thanks for a great show. Cheers, Giles. Giles. It's all this talking about remixes. Cheers, Charles. It says, even if Carnival Light isn't any good, I still want to hear it. We should be able to give it a listen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get that. Enjoyed your McCartney 2 deep dive. Thanks, Dino. Should have ditched One of These Days and Summer's Day song and replaced them with the short version of Secret Friend and Check My Machine. Oh, Mr. H. Atom, are you kidding me? Yeah, I think you're being sarky, aren't you? I think you're being sarky. I did play Secret Friend last night, actually, from the 12-inch of Temporary Secretary. So I had all my stuff out here when I was making the video, and I took it back in the house, and I played Secret Friend. Took me 2 weeks to get through it. Joseph Blue, hi Joseph. Hit the like, but yeah, please hit the like button. That'll be great. It does help. So yeah, please hit the like button. Thanks, Joseph. Dino says hoping to go to Abbey Road for Ringo. Yeah, well, now you sent me that thing, I'm thinking about it. I'll see. I'll probably decide on Monday. But if I do, I'll see you there. Eric says, of course, we all love George, but instead of being the quiet Beatle, he could be the grumpy Beatle. He could, and he could also be the hilarious Beatle, because he does come up with some good one-liners as well, and sarcastic Beatle as well. But yeah, he could. He could. George didn't have a lot of patience for a lot of things, and he never really hid it that well, did he? I can't be at Abbey Road on Monday. Unfortunately, work getting in the way. Yeah, quite a long way to come as well, isn't it, for you? Hi, PK. Just tuned in. I always wonder if Carnival Light even exists. I'm pretty sure that it does. Paul has talked about it a lot. So I think it definitely does exist. We haven't heard nothing, not even 2 seconds. Could it be a hoax? Despite Paul and George mentioning it. No, I think it does exist. And obviously people that were at that happening when it was played in 1967 have heard it. But we just haven't. I think that it does exist, but I just think it's too dreadful to be of any interest. I mean, some people say, well, I'd like to hear it, but just once. But, I know from what I've read about it, I know what it is. It's just lots of noises and lots of bits of talking and screaming, and I just can't see the appeal, to be honest. Tone, what is taking Paul so long releasing his new album? It's been 4 years. I don't know, John. He doesn't contact me directly. I don't know. He's got other things to do, I suppose. He's got a life as well, and it has been a long time in the making. But I don't think he's been making this album for 4 years. I think he only started it, I think, in 2023, end of 2023, I think, maybe, or maybe early 2024. I don't know, but it will be here when it's here, and there's nothing we can do about it. And let's hope it's good when it arrives. Jim says, super show, Tone. Have a fab weekend. You too, mate. Speak to you soon. Thanks for being here. Eric says, a release that might not sell very well. Why don't we do it in the road? Three record meditation mixes. Dino says, I seriously love Mr. H. Atom. I don't believe you. It's terrible. So un-McCartney, and that's what I love when he surprises. Yeah, I know, but it just goes on and on and on and on. The same thing. No. Okay, but if you love it, you love it. There is no right or wrong answers about any of this stuff. It's all just opinions, and if you think it's great, then it's great for you. And but I can't stand it. And that other one, all you horse riders. I really do think that, you know, when he recorded McCartney 2, you know, during those sessions, those 2 months, you know, he recorded about 20 songs, 20 songs, and I think probably the best 11 got on the album, and everything else that was left off probably deserved to be left off, having heard, you know, the archive edition. Although I would find a place for Check My Machine on there. If you're gonna have something experimental on there, Check My Machine, put that on it, get rid of Front Parlour, and Bob's Your Auntie's Living Lover. I think, yeah, that would be good. That would be good. That would make the album better for me, definitely. So I love Check My Machine. Right. George could have been the 7th Python. Yeah, he could. He was good mates with them. John was quoted as saying that a lot of sarcastic comments that were attributed to him were actually things George said. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. Dino says Carnival Light should never be released. We will all moan how rubbish it is. Please let us never hear it. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Jim says, read George, it's a fiendish thingy, cracks me up every time. Kier's here. Hi, Kier. Kier Smith has got a great channel from me to you. Please check out his channel. He does a lot of Beatles stuff on there. You are very late. You almost missed me because we kind of got to the end of the comments and I was just about to wrap it up, and then a load more comments happened. I hope you're well. I am. Thank you. I hope you are well too, Kia. The new Paul album will surely be this year. Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to be this year when there's a suitable gap in the calendar. I quite like Mr. H Atom. It's odd, and I like it for that. Okay, so you and Dino can shake hands on that. I think it's dreadful. But, you know, as I say, each to their own. It's okay. It's okay. No right or wrong answers. Dio says, have done a podcast on the White Album. What tracks would you choose if it was just a single album? What would you ditch beside Revolution 9? So I have done a video on this. It's on the channel because no Beatles channel can possibly exist without whittling down the White Album to a single album. And it was like, for me, because the White Album is my is my favorite album of all time by anyone. Choosing songs to have on my single White Album and rejecting 15 songs was like choosing my favorite testicle. It was just a too difficult choice. But what songs would I choose besides Revolution 9? Okay, Good Night. That's gone. This is just off the top of my head. I guess I'd have to lose Wild Honey Pie, but it pains me to lose Wild Honey Pie because I love it. I'd probably let. This is going to be controversial. I'd probably let Back in the USSR go, just because I've heard it so many times. There's other tracks on that album that I like a lot more than that. Why don't we do it in the road? Piggies would probably go. I don't know. Where are we? I'm trying to think of tracks off the top of my head. Maybe Savoy Truck. No, I really like Savoy Truck. No, this is really difficult. You'll have to go and watch the video and see what I chose when I did it. I can't do it off the top of my head. I can't think what I would get rid of. Oh bloody, oh bloody, probably. But these are all songs that I love. But I've got to choose the best 15. I'm choosing things like, from side one, Dear Prudence, Happiness is a Warm Gun, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Then side two, Martha, My Dear, I'm So Tired, I Will. What else? Julia, Blackbird. It's difficult. It's a big ask, which I'm not prepared to commit to on the hoof on a live stream. But I have done a video, and you can watch it. You can watch it on the channel. Just search for White Album, and it will pop up, I expect. Joseph says, Tony, due to the price, I still don't have. Oh, due to the price, you still don't have the Let It Be box set. Okay, you've got to keep watching the channel because I occasionally do these videos, which I call Beatley Tones Beatles Bargains, and you can go back and watch ones that I've done before if you want. But it's where I go and try and find things that are up for sale at decent prices. And the Let It Be box set comes up time and time again, and it will come up again, I'm sure. I've seen it on Amazon for as cheap as £35-40 for the CD box set. Anyway, for the CD box set, and they do sometimes come out, which is an absolute bargain. So yeah, keep tuned to the channel and watch out for the next installment. I keep looking for bargains to do another episode of that, but there's not much about at the moment. There's not much about. Just gonna have a little sip. Yeah, I could leave off Piggies. I think, but I still love it. I do still love it, but I think it is the weakest of the four George songs on the album. But I love it, and I've seen him do it live, which was an astonishing thing to behold. But yeah, if as I say, it's really difficult for me to pick 15 songs to dump. Eric says, best regards and wishes for you, Beatley Tone. Thank you, Eric. The White Album is a wonderful collection of practically every style of popular music that existed in 1968. Yeah, and even a few genres that maybe didn't quite exist at that time. I'm thinking, Revolution 9 and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why it's my favourite album, because it's not the 30 best songs that the Beatles ever did, but it's just such an eclectic mix, and it just takes you to lots of different places. And I've always loved it. It wasn't when I first got into the Beatles. I think Abbey Road was probably my favourite, but the White Album took over quite soon after. PK says, come on, it's the bloody White Album. Exactly. That's what I say in my video. That's what Paul said in Anthology. Leave it as it is. It's the best they've released. Yeah, it is. It is, but it's just one of these things. Before we had YouTube, and you had YouTubers, creating a single album, a single LP White Album. It used to be done on forums. I can remember being on Beatles forums before YouTube, where you just typed comments and stuff like that, and there would always be a thread going about whittle down the Beatles White Album to one album. So even back then, but yeah, absolutely right. Why would you want to? I mean, we don't tend to do this with other double albums, do we? I wonder if there's like on Elton John channels. I wonder if it's like whittle down Goodbye Yellow Brick Road to a single album, whittle down Blue Moves to a single album. I wonder if they have those sort of videos, or whether it's just us Beatles idiots that want to lose half an album just for the hell of it. Right. Okay. John says, do you think Beatles John's fans and non-fans talk bad of him on social media the last 5 years, say he was a bad person? No, I don't think fans do. I think people that don't really know much about John or believe the rubbish that's written in some books. I'm looking at you, Albert Goldman, and I'm looking at you, Fred Seaman, is it? I think. So people love to thrive on gossip, and we even saw it. I even saw it in the recent documentary, Borrowed Time documentary, where one of the talking heads that was being interviewed said, "Well, he doesn't believe he and he's quite a respected journalist, Ray Connolly, yeah, and he said, I don't believe that, that John was sorry." Losing my voice. He said, "I don't believe John was baking bread and bringing up Sean, during those 5 years he was doing heroin and stuff like that." And, like, how does he know? He admitted in the film that he hadn't spoken to John Lennon since 1974 or something like that. So he's just reading this in a book and saying that's what he believes, and he's supposed to be someone that that had access to the Lennons he did have access to the Lennons during the 70s, and supposed to be, he was a music journalist, but so I'm not sure if he was a friend, but he had access to them, and he said he was doing heroin, and we've seen literally hundreds and hundreds of pictures of John playing with Sean, doing things with Sean during that period, taking him on holiday, taking him sailing, all these sort of things that he did during those 5 years. Of course that's what he was doing. Why would you want to discredit him by saying he's doing something else? It just makes absolutely no sense. People are insane. It just makes no sense whatsoever. So this bloke Ray Connolly says actually in his interview, it seems 1960, 74, but yet he knows what he was doing in between 1975 and 1980. And for me, if I was the director of that and he said that, I would have cut that interview. I wouldn't have included that interview in the film because it can't be corroborated. And why would you make a documentary? Try and make a documentary with something in it that can't be corroborated, and therefore it could be untrue. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Anyway, that's my thoughts. That's a bit of a rant. I might be Joe Mayo disguise. That was a little bit of a rant, but that's how I feel about that stuff. Eric says, if you could change the tracks on the White Album, would you? Yes. No, absolutely. And 102 takes, and they still weren't happy with it, and they gave up on it. But when you hear it on Anthology 3, sounds great, doesn't it? I would definitely put that on there. And I don't know what if I was allowed to put it on there and had to take something off, I don't think it would be Revolution 9, because I don't think the White Album would be the same without Revolution 9 in it. It's kind of gives it part of its character. It's part of the whole madness. The whole White Album is off its head, isn't it? And that's why I love it so much. And so it probably wouldn't be Revolution 9 that I'd get rid of, but it is, it is quite incredible to think that Not Guilty, that version of Not Guilty wasn't good enough to get on the White Album when you think of some of the, the little snippets of songs that did get on there, and Revolution 9 as well. So it's, it does raise a question mark for sure, Eric. Definitely Keep You Blues, absolutely best song. That initially was my favorite song off the White Album. It's now While My Guitar Gently Weeps, but initially when I first heard the White Album all those years ago, Your Blues was my favorite, especially the bit where he sings I Even Hate My Rock and Roll, and it starts doing that sort of rock and roll groove. It's great. The guitars, do that rock and roll groove. It's great. There you go. John says Savoy Truffle is my favourite George track on the White Album. Also like Long, Long, Long. Me too. Love Long, Long, Long. It is one of the most underrated Beatles songs. I think it's fantastic. But the ending used to scare me when I was a kid. Yeah, I've heard a few people say that. Like a psychedelic haunted house. Yeah, good point. Dino says the middle testicle has always been my favourite. Okay. John says absolutely love the Good Night outtake with John's guitar and backing vocals. Yeah, it's good. It's a good outtake. PK says my favourite Beatles albums: 1, The Beatles; 2, Revolver; 3, Abbey Road. Mine would be 1, The Beatles; 2, Abbey Road; 3, Pepper. Or is it Revolver? I don't know. I should know. I have done a ranking of Beatles albums. I can't remember what I put third. But that's what I mean. You know, you do these videos and it can change. You can change over time. I think I'd probably go for Pepper, but I don't know. Revolver is so good. And he shouts out for Magical Mystery Tour. It is a fantastic album. I know we didn't get it as an album over here initially, but as an album, when you think of the tracks that are on it, it's a fantastic album. You know, because it's got Walrus on it and Hello Goodbye, Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, All You Need Is Love. I love all that stuff. It's great. It's a great album. You know, maybe if you was to line, it'd be interesting to. I think I might do this as a video. I might line up Magical Mystery Tour and Sgt. Pepper track for track and see which one comes out on top. Does that sound like an idea for a video, or does that sound like a rubbish idea? Dear, tell me in the chat. John says we should just replace Revolution 9 and Revolution 1. Replace them with the Hey Jude, with Hey Jude and the single version of Revolution. Keep it as a double album. No, I'm going to disagree with that, because why would you want to get rid of? I can understand why you want to get rid of Revolution 9, but why would you want to get rid of Revolution 1? It's a great version of the song. And if you've already got Revolution on the single, why do you need it on the album as well? You know, we want more material, not less, I think, is my opinion on that. Dino says the White Album is my favorite. It's like a roller coaster ride around life and takes you here, there, and everywhere, and pinpoint what was happening in the Beatles' lives more than any other. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with it. It's just, it's just off its head. It just goes all over the shop. But what, to when they went to India and where they wrote most of the songs, we've seen from the Isha demos, there's quite a lot of songs that they wrote that didn't get anywhere near the White Album, and there's such a prolific period for them, productively, or creatively, should I say, creatively. Because we all tried to make the White Album a single album. Wherever you choose and you play your one album, you will always miss the other songs, even Revolution 9. Yes, this is what I was saying, PK. It's like, Revolution 9, all right, drives you nuts, but it's part of the character of the White Album. And we would miss it. And if we'd never heard it, I think life would be poorer without Revolution 9. Okay, Eric says, I think a lot of the cut it down to a single album talk because George Martin expressed his opinion that it would have been a great single album. Yes, he did say that. Andrew says, I'm a tad late to the party. You are, but we are still here. We're hanging in by our fingernails, but probably will wrap it up very soon. You did almost miss it, but you're here now, and that's the main thing. Lord Sod 69, greetings from Ireland, mate. Greetings to you, pal. Welcome. John says, definite yes to including Not Guilty. Lord Sod 69 says, I love the White Album. I think we all do. Andrew says, agree, White Album has very diverse song styles. It does. That's its charm. That's what I mean. I think that's its main charm, rather than being, the best 30 songs that the Beatles ever did, which it clearly isn't. But when you put them all together in that mix, you know what? When I finish this stream, I'm going to go and listen to it. I'm going to come put it on and blast it out. I'm in the mood for it now. You've got me in the mood for it now. The White Album should have both versions of Wild My Guitar. Yeah, they kind of, well, I suppose they did it with Revolution, didn't? Well, they did. They did have two versions of Revolution, and neither of them are the same version of the same thing. Yeah, I don't know. The demo, George's demo of that is just such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing, with the extra verse in it as well. And I think the that version that we first heard on Anthology 3 was just the acoustic version, but I think the version on Love with George Martin's orchestration on it is even better. I think it's even better. It just sounds fantastic. Eric says, I believe that a problem is having a film editor who doesn't know enough about the subject of the documentary. There's one on Laurel and Hardy where Jerry Lewis tells a story that is 100% fiction. Now we're now going back to the John Lennon things. Okay, you're talking about the Borrowed Time film. Did you see it? I can't remember if you told me if you saw it or not. But yeah. Well, I know it's out on Blu-ray now anyway, isn't it? Yeah. But Alan Parker, he's been a fan for a lot of years. He's not much younger than me. So I think he kind of picked it up 78 or something like that. So he's got a knowledge, but you've got to, when you're a director, you've got to make that decision, I guess, about something that is going to have some traction during the film, or being absolutely 100% honest with the truth. And sometimes it's kind of like clickbait for movies, isn't it? I think that might be another way of putting it, maybe. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you. You've finally finished work, have you? I'll just checking in from the record store. Right, okay. Quickly, I would not put Not Guilty on the White Album. I will check in when I get home. Have a great time. You wouldn't put Not Guilty on the White Album, really? Okay. You can tell me about that some other time, or when you get home. Probably not going to be here much longer. John says, Dear Prudence is one of my favourite songs of the White Album. It is a masterpiece. No question marks needed at the end of that, John. It is a masterpiece. I love it as well. I think it's a brilliant track. It's one of my favourites. It definitely gets on my 1 LP version of the White Album. Revolver is tops. I love listening to those LPs as a kid back in the late 80s. Still love them. Yeah. Magical Mystery Tour was an underrated album for a long time, says PK. Yeah, because we never got it here as a. Well, it kind of got a release in the late 70s here, and I got mine. I think I got mine in 1976, and when I looked it up on Discogs, I found that it was a 1973 pressing. So I obviously bought it as an import at my local record store, and it's a weird one because it's on Apple. It's not on Capitol. It's on an Apple label, and so when I first bought it, I didn't even realize that it was sort of, half soundtrack, half compilation. But since it's gained much more traction since 1987, where it became part of the canon, the official canon. But I guess it was the same for you in the Netherlands. I'm not sure I don't know when it was officially released in the Netherlands, but I think the LP here was about 1976, when you could just buy a UK version of it rather than getting it as an import. John says, Tone, great idea. Do it. This is matching up Pepper against Magical Mystery Tour, right? Because what a year they had in 1967. Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, Sgt. Pepper album, making the film Magical Mystery Tour. All right, the film didn't turn out great, but the soundtrack's great. Great soundtrack. All You Need Is Love and Baby You're a Rich Man, and all that sort of stuff. What a year. Is it the Beatles' strongest year, would you say? Let me know in the chat. Great. John also thinks Magical Mystery Tour versus Pepper. Yeah, great. I'll do it. Top 3 Beatles albums for me: Abbey Road, Revolver, Let It Be. Okay. There's no wrong or right answers in this. Everyone's got their own opinions, and what you like best is what you like best, and that's great. I really like Let It Be as well, but you don't often see it mentioned in fans' top 3. But you've put an interesting slant on it by picking that as your number 3. And when you think about it, track by track, it's got a lot of good stuff on it, hasn't it? I love Two of Us. I love Across the Universe. Obviously, the track Let It Be. I've Got a Feeling. One After 909 is a brilliant track. Obviously, it's got Get Back on it. Long and Winding Road. I mean, it's got a lot of really good songs on it. Again, song for song. Song for song, Let It Be can go toe to toe with quite a lot of other Beatles albums. I think this could be. I'm just having like a moment now. I'm thinking this could be a series, couldn't it? It could be a series. Magical Mystery Tour versus Sgt. Pepper. The winner plays Let It Be, and then the winner of that plays Revolver or whatever. I'll have a think about it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please think about subscribing to the channel. Give this particular live stream a like. That would really, really help, and it means that the replay of this will pop up on more people's YouTube feeds, and they'll be able to watch it on catch up. So please do that for me. Thank you. Right. Lord Sod 69 says they could have framed the LPs with both versions of Revolution. Just an idea. Yeah, they could have done. Considering the mood of the time. Yeah, good point. That is a very good point, actually. That would have been a poignant statement, wouldn't it? Of their, the album that comes out in 1968, the end of 1968, starts and finishes, starts with a raucous revolution and ends with a much more gentle revolution, as if calm has been achieved, and throughout this 1968 period where there's been all these student riots and Vietnam protests and all that kind of stuff. That is a great point. I like that a lot. Pardon me if I use that in one of my videos at some point. I like that a lot. That's a really great point. Like it. Thank you. John Case says, I always preferred Revolution 1 to the single version. Just my humble opinion. Cheers to all the different viewpoints. Yeah. So there's also another version, isn't there? There's the version that there's a video of them doing it, and I think it's on the David Frost show. So it's the same video, the same show where they did the Hey Jude promo, and there's a video where they kind of merge the fast version with the slower version, because the on the slow version you've got the bop shooby doo up up shooby doo. Well, they do the fast version on the David Frost show. They do the fast version with those shooby doo wops. In the breaks in between, during the lines in verses 2 and 3, and I think that is probably the very best version of Revolution, as kind of hybrid of the single version of Revolution and Revolution 1. It's a great version. Right, where are we here? I'll try to get through everyone before I go. Helter Skelter is the heaviest Beatles tune on that LP, at least. Yeah, it is. Top 3 Beatles tracks for me. In My Life, Your Blues, and Hey Bulldog, probably all good tunes. In My Life is definitely top 10 for me. I'm not sure about the other two. I haven't really whittled it down to an actual top 10. It's in this imaginary top 10 that I've got. Okay. Dina says the opening line, "She's not a girl who misses much," is, in my opinion, one of the most beautifully sung Lennon vocals ever. So touching and pure and delicate. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's very nice. Thanks, Dino. I only just found out you're alive. Sorry, I'm so late. No, it's okay. It's okay. Are you? I don't recognise your name, so I don't recognise that you've. Because when I put videos out, I kind of recognise a lot of the names because the same names, come up each time they come on the same video. I don't know if you're a subscriber of the channel, but if you are, just make sure you got the notification bell checked. Just hit the notification bell so you get you should get a thumbnail in your feed when I do a live stream. And when I do a live stream, I always do a community post as well. And if you get a note, if you're signed up for notifications, then you'll see that in your feed as well. If you're not a subscriber, you know what to do. Love to have you along for the ride. Okay. PK says Revolver was the first normal album I bought after the Blue and Red back in 1876. You're older than you look, mate. You're older than you look. I know you mean 1976. Right, and Andrew's picking up on that as well. It's so raw, probably their most raw LP. What are we talking about? Were we talking about the White Album? Are we still talking about the White Album, or did you say Revolver? I can't remember now. Someone gave a shout for Revolver anyway. John Kay said, agree. The demo of While My Guitar Gently Weeps is awesome and beautiful, and George Martin adding a good score to it for the Love Show was a great tribute from him to George. It's just greatness. It's when greatness meets greatness, and you get greatness as the love child of greatness meeting greatness. Tone, this is Charles. Beatle Dave has managed to get a copy of the Beatles Black album. Have you got it? No, I haven't. I haven't. But I'm not sure if I need it. It's my view. I'm not sure if I need it. But yes, I did see that Dave got one. The White Album Deluxe box set is the best of the lot. Agreed. I will be doing a video on that very soon on the channel. Even now, when I play it, I'm blown away by early versions, especially backing tracks with no vocals. Yeah, I mean, it's great. They just gave us, they just took us out for a picnic and said, "There you go, have all this unreleased material," and we said, "Thank you very much. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It is a fantastic package." I wonder if they will ever do a vinyl package to mirror the CD package, because they for the vinyl package they just gave you the remix double album and the each demos, so so it was 4 LP set, two double albums. So, same for me. Bought Magical Mystery Tour in 1976, Apple label. Well, there you go. There you go. Would Obla Di Obla Da be on the cards for leaving off the White Album, or is it a keeper? I think it would have to be on the cards. I love it. But when you think of what it's up against, it's hard to find a place for it if you can only choose 15 songs, I think. I love the fact that Pink Floyd were recording Piper, their debut album, in the studio next door as the Beatles were doing Pepper. What a year indeed. We're talking about 1967. The David Frost Revolution footage features Paul playing the stolen Hofner bass. That exact copy. Okay. I thought he said, didn't he say? I thought he said that it disappeared in 1961. I think that could well be Paul misremembering. A lot of the things that Paul says these days didn't actually happen. Jeff says A Hard Day's Night film is coming out in 4K with the old Blu-ray extras in July, unless they change the date. Okay, good to know. Eric says, I just SW of Chicago. What does that mean? I'm an idiot. I'm just southwest of Chicago. I'm such an idiot. So it's 2 p.m. here. I'm sure it's much later where you are, so I'll say night. Yeah, it's just 8:10 here. Thanks for being here, Eric, and contributing in so much in the in the chat. So I hope you have a great rest of your July the 4th day. So thanks for being here, and have a great day. Dana says, do you know if any of the fans on the Run gang flew to the UK for the Wings concerts in 1979? No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know if they existed as a gang back then. I really only know Joan, and I know that Joan didn't come here in 1979, but she did see her first of 100 shows. I think she's still on 100 shows. She's still on 100 Paul McCartney shows, and she saw the first of those in Philadelphia in 1976. So on the Wings Over America tour. So what a show to kick it off with, eh? Dina says, Oasis are on at 8:15. They will have a row and storm off. It's not on telly though, is it? It's not on telly. You mean they're on stage at 8:15? Any minute now. The tension must be building in Cardiff. Wouldn't that be hilarious? John says, thanks again, Tone, for doing this live chat. A great 4th of July gift and the first live one I've attended. Look forward to all your videos. Stay well and take care. Best to you, Mr. Beatley Tone. Thanks a lot, John. Thank you for being here and for all your contributions as well in the chat. You go and enjoy the rest of the day of Independence Day. Of course, it's going to be a big one next year, isn't it? be 250 years next year. I mean, I remember 200. I remember the 200th anniversary in 1976, and that was even a big deal over here. So I can't imagine how much of a big deal it's going to be in America. Trump's going to be losing it, isn't he? What do I mean losing? Right, Michael F says, hi Michael, late to the party here in the US. Binding was terrible in the Carter book here as well. Yeah, mine fell to bits as well. Had to return second book, and that came part 2. Oh, he bought the bass in 61 and it was stolen in the early. So okay. Michael says, bought used copy of the last version 1980. Nice tribute to John in that. Yeah, I can't remember what issue that is. I think this is after 1980 actually. Or you saying the last version is 1980? Let's have a look. It goes. See what it goes up to. Oh yeah, it does. It just go. Yeah, with the tribute. Yeah, it goes up to 1980. So you've got this version now. That's yeah. I just bought that on eBay a few years ago to replace the one that I that fell to pieces and I stuck it on my wall. Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. I think that's been confirmed. PK says Oasis are on at 8:15 and off at 8:30. Only one Gallagher is standing, the other is knocked out. Sounds about par for the course. Joan saw Paul in New York this year, didn't she? Oh, yes, she did. She did at the Bowery. Yeah, she did. Yeah, so it's now the one after one. Yeah, one after 101 will be her next one. It's actually my dad's birthday today. Happy birthday to Dino's dad. Yeah, oh, your dad who passed, right? I remember you saying he passed during COVID, right? If I'm right in remembering. And he never liked the Beatles, but liked Engelbert and Tom Jones. So happy heavenly birthday to your dad, mate. Right, another bass fact. In the mid-60s, the bass had a damaged tuning peg. Mal Evans repaired it using a tuning peg from George's smashed up Gretsch guitar that had been run over by a truck. Okay. How did that happen then? We just had that, haven't we? We just had that. Yes, I remember the Bicentennial too. Thanks again, Tone. I feel I found a kindred spirit in you, especially since I lost one of my early Beatle buds last year. Sorry to hear that, John. But I'm glad you're here and part of the channel, and that's great. Okay, I'm going to make this the last comment because it's been 2 hours and nearly 13 minutes. BT, apologies if you've covered this at some point on an earlier stream, but have you read the book John and Paul: A Love Story in song? Listen to it on Audible right now and quite like it. No, I haven't. I haven't read it. I don't have it. But I have read an extract from it because there was an extract from it in. Was it Mojo or Uncut? I can't remember. A couple of months back or something. So I read it, and it did seem really good. And I'm just going to answer this one from Dino. Why are you going to Chicago and not to Liverpool? Me, no understandings. Well, I'm going to tell you. It's easy because I've been to Liverpool loads of times. I've never been to Chicago. And so we're going and we're having a holiday before the fest, and we're gonna, it's like the fest is only 3 days, and we're going for a few days more, and I'm gonna be in Austria when the Beatles week is in Liverpool, but I'll go next year. And it's so easy. It's so easy to go. This is going to Chicago for me. Is a bit more special, I suppose. Despite the fact that you'll be there and not in Chicago, but there you go. Yeah. Now, okay. Now I'm gonna have to now go Cubs. Are they a baseball team? Are they baseball? Because we're thinking of going to see a baseball game when we're there. Because I've never been to one. I've never been to a baseball game. And I know there's. I think there's. Is there 2 teams in Chicago? I know nothing about baseball. Don't even know the rules. It's like rounders we have here. It's like rounders with helmets in it. But anyway, I'm gonna go and maybe watch a game. Okay. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, my friend. Okay, and we're getting the answer. Yeah, right. I am going to wrap it up now. I'm going to wrap it up because I haven't had any dinner. Why haven't I had any dinner? Because I've been on air chatting to you lot. It's been great. It's been a blast. I always love doing these live streams and chatting to you all. Thanks again for all your contributions in the chat, keeping it going for well over 2.25 hours. 2.25 hours, and so that is amazing. I think we've gone about an hour longer than we nearly finished. I know there's not as many people today because it is July the 4th in America, so lots of American people that normally are on the live streams are off doing stuff with family and friends, and that's totally understandable. And anyway, so thank you for your contributions. Thank you for being part of my channel, and I'll try and do one. I'm not sure if I would probably do one early September because August is going to be really busy for me. I can't talk. I've been talking too much. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.